I have always been told that relationships are hard work, but it was not until this year that I have really come to understand that phrase. I am coming to you as a student who has just finished her first year of college, and I found out that relationships can change dramatically after such a change in lifestyle. Over this past year, I have gained many new friends as well as lost some too. My relationships with my family members has changed as well. While researching this topic, I have discovered that not only is it relatable to me, but every other college student who has moved away from home and started their life elsewhere. This speech covers relationships between family and friends. Relationships can be very diverse and quite similar at the same time. An explanation will be given concerning the types of relationships we have as well as how they can change. A closer look will be taken at how relationships change within a family, and finally, why we should put effort into our relationships in order to make them work. Relationships with friends and family are constantly changing and need maintained in order to thrive. There are some relationships with friends that are just so strong it can be hard to tell whether you should consider them just a friend or family. It is important to know why you picked these people to share your life with in the first place. When looking for friends, we usually find ones we share similar interests with. The only difference between our friends and family is that we choose our friends, but the line between friends and family can be very thin. Sometimes friends can become family. I call many of my parents' friends Aunt Gay or Uncle Brett. Many people also have best friends. Our chapter Communication and Relationships calls these so-called best friends reciprocal friends. In the article, Are You Your Friend's Friend? The authors point out a very sad truth about reciprocal friendships. A study was done that asked people if their reciprocal friendships were mutual. The results of the study came back to say that half of the reciprocal friendships are actually mutual. This fact struck me hard. To think that only half of best friends are actually best friends blows my mind. On the other hand, friendships don't always last and has to be taken into account as well. I recently had a friend that I consider one of my best friends, but has also become clear we are simply not as close anymore. Not only do relationships with friends change, but they also change with family. Relationships changes usually take place when a family member is in a transition stage of life. I myself am in this process as I moved out of the house and I have started a different life in a sense. In the article from the Atlantic, Beck explains that early adulthood is a time to find yourself and explore different opportunities. This is also a time where you rely on friends and more than family for emotional support. My brothers are also in a transition period as both of them have found someone they love and are either recently or soon to be getting married. After a family no longer lives under one roof, it can be more difficult to keep up with the relationships. In Marriage and Family Review Journal, Lindell speaks on how a family can actually become closer after they no longer live together. This makes sense because there is also less contact for arguments. My mother has always told me that siblings will be your best friends for life. You just have to get along. To have relationships that last for life, we have to put effort in. Both sides have to try if they want to succeed. If not, the relationships can easily fail. Not only can you end up with a friend for life, but a healthy relationship can also benefit your general health. And healthy relationships lead to better lives. Johnson says that there are no only emotional improvements, but physical improvements as well. Flipping the subject, if there is a bad relationship, it can be bad for our health and emotional state. In conclusion, the way our relationships change can affect the way we live our daily lives. Our lives can also affect our relationships. When we go through life changes, friendships can be created or destroyed. To prevent the loss of a friend completely, effort must be put into the relationship. If there is one thing from this speech to remember, it should be that it is important to put effort into the relationships that matter to you. A healthy relationship is worked on by both parties. It thrives because both strive to keep what they have. There will also be emotions and relationships in this world, and people will continue to need them. Family and friends will also be an important part of this. As time goes on, the world can change, and so will relationships. And just as relationships will change, effort will also be needed to make it work. Some friends will come and go. It is simply up to you to decide whether or not you want to keep them.